We know that little babies can survive prematurely from 22 weeks. We know that these special children need care and love and support, but yet the majority of the MLAs at the Northern Ireland Assembly voted to allow these children to die up to birth. We're launching the Restore Personhood campaign. We're calling for the people of Northern Ireland to vote only for pro-life politicians who will uphold the right to life of all unborn children, followed by a social media campaign where we will encourage people on how to strategically vote just for pro-life politicians to ensure that pro-abortion politicians are not elected through transfer votes. It's a political strategical move here that happens every election, where some politicians can be elected on transfer votes from the other parties. So, for example, if there were 5 candidates, which there will be in every constituency, and there's only 2 pro-life candidates, we're asking people to give them either the first or second vote and to ignore the other candidates, because what has happened in previous elections that we've become aware more and more over through our experience of lobbying and campaigns, that many of those politicians are actually elected by pro-life people, but the people of Northern Ireland are not aware of that. So we're working very hard here to get a video out, to get these leaflets out. We may follow this with a billboard campaign coming up towards the 5th of May, just to really highlight the importance of voting pro-life and only pro-life in this election. This is our opportunity to be a voice for those who have no voice, to undo the tragedy that took place in 2019, but also this is very important to highlight that we are still a pro-life nation. There was a recent vote in the Northern Ireland Assembly. There was an amendment put forward to the existing legislation that was forced on us, Section 9 of the Northern Ireland Act. Paul Given of the DUP put forward an amendment, a bill to the bill, calling for the Assembly to vote to protect children with children who are viable, children with, say for example, Down syndrome, children with club foot, children with cleft palate, children with cleft lip. It's just as simple as this. They're repairable. They are not life-limiting, but the Assembly voted not to protect these special children. And in fact, through this amendment, they voted to allow abortion up to the moment of birth. We know that little babies can survive prematurely from 22 weeks. We know that these special children need care and love and support, but yet the majority of the MLAs at the Northern Ireland Assembly voted to allow these children to die up to birth. The only party that didn't vote for this legislation, that voted to protect the unborn children of our country, were the DUP and the traditional Democratic Voice.
Obviously, Sinn Féin, historically, we're going to see it as a party that represents Catholics and Catholic issues, but it's kind of hard to reconcile their stance on abortion with the traditional Catholic view on that issue. So how do you think Sinn Féin has changed over time when it comes to social issues like this?
Well, Sinn Féin in the north have been what we would refer to wolves in sheep's clothing, along with the SDLP, the Social Democratic Labour Party, who over the years had convinced their constituency and their voters that they were in fact pro-life, but yet they have shown themselves to be the most liberal pro-abortion parties in the Northern Ireland Assembly. So we're living in very strange times where we're seeing nationalists voting for the first time for unionists. This is something that's been happening over a period of years, where we now can see that those who claim to be Catholic or Republican or nationalists are not voting to uphold the right to life of unborn children. So it's really changing times to change minds. So we're really hoping that this campaign will alert people and will change the makeup of the Northern Ireland Assembly. For the next 5 years, we have an opportunity to change the legislation to protect the unborn children. So it's crucial that pro-life people get their walking shoes on, get out onto the streets, into their neighbourhoods, and start to leaflet, lobby, canvass for these precious babies who have no voice but ours.